But yeah, just like you said, just laying it, just each working on it each and every day, man. I work on being a parent each and every day, just thinking about what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I can improve upon overall. And you know, just like every day's a challenge. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's the best thing in the world. So just continuing to work on that. Try to think about what my parents did. Keep what I like, throw out what I didn't, and just apply that each
Mm-hmm.
and every day, man. That's what it's about. So I love you, Daddy.
This is For Fathers, a podcast for fathers to uplift and encourage each other with the understanding we are the forefathers of the next generation. I'm eloQuint. I got my boy DJ here today, and this is episode 102. Man, tell everybody I say what's up.
Yo, what's going on, man? Name's Darien Johnson. A lot of people call me DJ, whichever one you prefer. But I appreciate Q, inviting me up here, man. We hoop together quite a bit, so for him to take the time to really bring me on, man, that's love. So I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, most day. A lot of my guests I get from the court, man, because I stay there all the time, especially when I was
Absolutely.
younger. Just even if we don't play no more, it's just people that I hoop with before, just growing up, because that's a lot of our relationships are from the basketball court.
Very true. Very true.
So, like I said, but I really do appreciate you hopping on, just taking the time. Had a little snafu beforehand, but we in here, we here now, so that's all that matters.
Hey,
That's all that
man.
matters, bro. So, how many kids you got, man?
I just have one, man. 4-year-old, name's Michael. High energy. Obviously, you've seen him. So, super high energy, loves being around the basketball court. So, gonna get him signed up here soon. But yeah, man, just one for now. And yeah, just you know, maybe more in the future. We'll see what me and the lady decide to do when that time comes. But she's got one as well. So, he's an
Okay.
extension of me too. His name's Aiden. So,
Oh
but
yeah.
but yeah, man, like I said, just we'll see what happens as far as that goes. But yeah, for right now, just one biologically.
Yeah, I know all about that. That that extension, that bonus dad life. So you seem, but you're a little like, how old are you?
So I'm 34. I just turned 34 on last Tuesday. Matter of fact. So yeah.
Oh, okay, so you had him at 30. Since I started at 23, sometimes I feel like, dang, people have kids old, but really 30 years old is really a good age to have a kid.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's crazy is that growing up, especially by the time I got done with college, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I want to be married by 25. I want to have 3, 4 kids. That I kind of had that mapped out growing up, and then by the time I got to around that age, I was like, man, I'm kind of glad I didn't have any yet. So it happened when it was supposed to, man. And like I said, God doesn't make mistakes. So
Oh,
I
he
just
don't.
it was the perfect time for me to have him at 29 going on 30. So it was perfect.
I mean, I really think it is better to have them when you're more mature, because even I'm 23, I'm young, making dumb mistakes, doing stupid stuff still, not even caring, still trying to hoop heavy, trying to go overseas and all that kind of stuff. So my focus was even on, no, like, have a kid, like what? I'm trying to hoop.
Yeah.
So, so that was still, I mean, I was still, I made plenty of mistakes in my young fatherhood. It still do, because I ain't perfect. But
Absolutely.
so how is that bonus that life for you? I'm walking into it, newly married and all that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
how's that working for you?
It's good, man. He's 12, so a little bit older. Coming into those teenage years, and we're still getting to know one another, and but we're establishing a really, really good bond, which is good. Good dude, kind of similar to his mom, real laid back, observant, really chill, but loves the game of basketball. So we have that in common already, and yeah, man, just my big thing is I didn't want to come in just trying to force anything on them or anything like that. I just came in as myself. giving him an opportunity to get comfortable, but also still being myself at the same time, and just letting him know that, hey man, listen, I'm here if you need me, and just establishing that bond was important to me, man. So, because just like I love his mom, you gotta, her son is an extension of her, so it would be crazy for me, especially being a dad, not to try to extend that same love. So I just keep that in mind every day, man. And yeah, he's a dope kid.
Awesome. Well, so what age did you come into his life?
So we just came in fairly recently, man. And it's just one of those things where um his mom, so I play in a couple leagues, and I've known his mom for, like 2, 3 years now. Funny thing is that her best friend, one of the leagues that I refed over the summer, this pro-am I was refereeing, her best friend played in it. So, we've known each other for, 2, 3 years now. And just, like I said, time is everything. So, during that time we speak every now and then, but it wasn't anything too crazy. Um, and then just one day, man, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and introduce myself, and kind of see what comes from it, man. And we just hit the ground running. So it hasn't been too long, but again, man, when it's real, and it's authentic, things just happen. There's really no time into it, and yeah, man. So yeah, dope.
I definitely get that. Side note, I see why you called them all them fouls now because you're a referee. I ain't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
look,
ain't
man.
know that. I
When
get it
we
now. I get it
when
now.
when we like when we're hooping, especially the runs that we go to, man, it's physical run. I like to play physical. I like to throw my weight around, but sometimes I do get caught in a moment where I'm calling a foul for my teammate, and I'm like, man, I can't do that. So I think about that. But just from my standpoint, man, I like to play physical. As you know,
Hmm.
I take pride in defense. These days I don't really look to score as much, but um, defense is a big thing for me. So I like to talk. I like to try to throw my weight around a little bit. Granted, you're probably one of the toughest people to guard, when I get out there. So, but I just do the best that I can with that one. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what we're out there for. At the end of the day, it's about being competitive, but also it's about the camaraderie, the brotherhood. Just being around the guys. Like, there's a lot of different conversations that stem from strictly just runs
Hmm.
like that. So
Hmm.
being able to be around you guys, I haven't been there in a movie. I feel like I haven't been there in like a month, but being able to be around you guys for the most part, man, I take pride in it, just because we all have things going on. We all have our own lives, but when we get out there, it's kind of like a sanctuary for most people, man, to kind of get away. And basketball, that's what basketball is for me, right? Whether it's reffing or hooping, it's one of those things where I just enjoy the game. I love being around the game. It puts me at peace. Like, I could have the worst things going on at the time, but when I'm out there playing, just playing with the guys and getting
Ain't
after it,
nothing
man,
like it.
there's nothing like it, bro. That's my sanctuary.
And it's
So
always been that way too.
absolutely.
I love the game. Before we get off on that topic, I'm gonna wrap right back around because we can go talk about that all day long.
Absolutely.
I had to say that side note because I heard you say that. I was like, oh, you a daggone rep. But but so so has it been hard to step into that bonus dad role? Or I know you say you come in as yourself, which I did the same, and you sound like we had the same similar experience that we kind of usually you don't introduce your kids that early, but when it's
Yeah.
genuine and when it comes flowing, it just kind of happens that way, which kind of happened for me too. So how's has it been any bumps in the road, I guess, if you will?
No, honestly, no. Just because, my big thing is that, I'm a dad, right? And I told her, I said, look, he has a dad. I'm not trying to be his dad. I just want to be a positive male figure for him, whatever that looks like. And just let him know that, he's appreciated. If he needs me, I'm here. And I'm also letting him know that I support him, with him playing ball or doing whatever it is that he wants to do. I'm here to support him as well. So yeah, no, man, I wouldn't really say that that it's been tough or anything like that, because like I said, I just try to let things happen organically. Um, I'm big on I'm big on that. I'm big on that for starters, but I'm also big on just letting him warm up to me, and and just kind of, like I said, just kind of letting things happen the way they're supposed to happen. So it's been good. Um, I think just by me being me and not trying to force anything and just letting things happen the way they're supposed to, he's gravitated to me, and that's made us closer. So, you know, that's really it.
Yeah, it definitely has to be natural. I definitely agree with that. Mine's is a daughter, so I have 3 daughters myself, and then my wife has a
Absolutely.
daughter, so I got 4 daughters.
That's dope.
and oh yeah, what I love it, man. Ain't nothing like a dad. It ain't like a daughter's love, man. Ain't nothing like it. But so I had come a different perspective, not different perspective, but like I came with the same approach in terms of like I ain't trying to replace nobody. You know what I mean? Like you have a father and don't call me dad, you know what I mean? Because you have one. That's disrespectful to him because I know what it feels like, to feel disrespected as a father. So I wouldn't never want to put that on nobody else. But I definitely came with that. It has to be authentic. Let her warm up, and it's also still wanting to be that presence, like that male figure, because young girls need that. They need that because they don't have it, but they go off, in different world. You experience it probably with different people that you met. I know I have,
Absolutely.
and so I wanted to be that. That was my big thing. I want to be that male presence, so that she doesn't feel that she needs to get that love from somebody else. If I could do that, then I feel like I'm doing my job, and also raising her up in the word and knowing God and spiritually being fed and stuff like that. But my goal for my own personal kids, it's like I want to be that presence, even though 2 of them don't live with me. They live in South Carolina.
Okay.
I still want to be that male figure that they can call and they can, they get hugs from and love from, words of affirmation from. So that's been my approach, especially with having girls, man. It's so important.
I love that, bro. Love that. And you said they're in South Carolina?
My 2 middle kids.
Okay.
So my oldest is my wife's daughter. So she's my oldest now, and then my 2 middle kids. One just had a birthday, turned 8. Crazy.
That's awesome.
The oldest is turning 9.
Okay.
And then so my 2 middle kids, they got the same mom. They up in down in South Carolina, I guess. Where I play basketball at. So
Okay.
I have my biological oldest right out of college, my senior year. So
That's dope.
yeah, and then my youngest lives with me, and then both of them live with me now. So it's awesome, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, so
man.
I get that full time dad experience too. So I went from different experiences beforehand now to being a full time man. It's so awesome. Ain't nothing like it.
I love it, man. I love that. So how was that being a dad, like in college? Like how was that, especially being a student athlete and on top of being a dad? Like how did you balance that?
Well, actually, she wasn't born to October, so she wasn't born to after I graduated, but she was pregnant
Okay.
while I was in college. And I remember the game that I found out, like the game, like I found out before this game. I found out my mind was messed up, bro.
Oh
I
man.
know I was struggling. Like I found out with like 10 minutes ago in the second half. Like I was
Woo.
struggling. Like I could not think. I could not hoop. I couldn't figure it out. I was in daggone Alabama.
Man.
I was like, man, I got a baby. Like, dag on it. Like, I try not to, because my dad always talked about, man, you get a baby, your basketball career is over, da 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 da. And so I try not to from that perspective, but the way I was moving, I wasn't trying not to, if that makes sense. Or making good decisions. But so and then um and so the toughest was being overseas. So I went to Germany first after college, and she was born while I was there, but I was on my way back because when I was there, I could not focus. Like I'm gonna have a baby. Like I can't. I got to be a dad. I grew up with my father in the house. I all I could imagine was her growing up without me. You know what I mean? Even though I could have flew her
Yeah.
out there and stuff like that, but my mind wasn't there. Like I'm trying to force that. I'm trying to make it happen because I want to make sure I'm a breadwinner for my kid. You know what I mean? And it wasn't the most high end paying job or whatever overseas. So I was like, man, I gotta do it. And I put too much pressure on myself, man. So and that coach, we got a little riff, and I went to the Netherlands after that in that same year, within a month or two or whatever. And they liked me over there, but they didn't have enough money to pay me. So I came back a day after she was born, and then I never been back. But it really was the biggest hit on my professional career.
Oh man. So do you, obviously you have no regrets being a dad. We know that. Do you
Not at
have any
all.
regret do you have any regrets not going back like overseas?
Yeah, right. I had a chance to play it. You know what the Firebirds is? The Raleigh team, the professional
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
I signed a contract and everything with them, but I was going through so much with my oldest two mom, with like not being able to see them and going back and forth. And so I was afraid to not be able to be in their life because I had been through so much already. And so I kind of chose them over basketball, and then it didn't work out like within 2 weeks. I was like, dang, that was the worst season of my life.
Oh man.
So yeah, nah, I got thrown it a couple times, but if I play, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. I probably wouldn't have the podcast. I probably wouldn't be as deep in the word, have my connection with God, wouldn't be on this path without it. So you got to be grateful
Absolutely.
for it, man. See what's good and everything. Just like I could have went to Delaware State and I would have had a baby freshman year if I went there, all the black women. So, so I mean, shoot, it's the lesser of the two evils, I guess.
Hey man. Hey man, you grow through what you go through. So, it brought you to where you are today, and that's all that matters, man. So, I commend you for, being obviously being a great person, but being a great dad, man. It's something about, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. It's just something different. Like, I think that people that don't have kids can't relate. Like, if
Oh
you
man, you never lied.
just being a parent, just it's a different type of love, man. I think about how, my dad was with me, and kind of how hard he was on me growing up, and just different things like that. And I really never understood. And I'm like, well, why is he this hard on me? And then the older you get, and once you have kids, you start to understand why. Because for one, it's already hard enough as a black man. For two, you're not going to get anything easy, and he wants to make sure, your parents want to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do, so by the time you become an adult and become a parent, you'll be prepared. Now, there's no way to prepare to being a parent. I
Yeah.
mean, you can read all the handbooks in the world and different things like that, but just the foundation that your parents laid, if they lay the right foundations, then that sets you up for success whenever you become a parent. So, you know um, obviously, it seems like you come from a good household from your parents. So, man, salute to you, brother. That's you know
I appreciate it. And I never knew how scary laying a foundation was. Like, am I doing it right? Like, is it sturdy enough? Is the cement, like in the right places? Is it level? Like, that's what I've been thinking about. Like, damn, am I doing enough as a parent? And I can only imagine the stresses of my own. What we put our parents through, first of all, because the stuff we used to do.
yeah.
Especially like you said, as a black man, man, you go out all night, like, bro, where you been at? You supposed to do it, and you ain't call me, da da da. And now when you get older, it's like, oh, I see why you said that, because
Yeah,
it's wild out there. It's
it's
wild out
crazy.
there. Yeah. So that even for you, man, even raising two sons now, man. How, like, I know it's a little bit of angst, a little bit of fear when they go out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
How are you going about that? How are you going about teaching both of them about that?
it's it's one of those things, man, where I'm just trying to. Patience is a big thing, especially when
Mhm.
they're toddlers. So with Michael, I just try to be as patient as possible, but also be stern and just be, and that's a challenge sometimes too. My dad raised me. Both my parents were really, really stern and firm with, their way of parenting, and you know, I think for me is that whenever I would do something, like let's say for example, we know the stove is hot, right?
Mhm.
It's only gonna take me one time to realize it's hot and not do it again. And my parents was just stayed firm on how they raised me, not repeating themselves and different things like that. I'm probably more patient in that aspect, but it can be, for the most part it works, but sometimes it can be challenging. Just because my son is 4, he's in that testy phase. So, we work on that. But just as far as, raising him to try to do, him understanding what's right and wrong, man, I do that every day. He's a good kid, he's a smart kid, and I each and every day I'm learning, man. Like, it's still the beginning for me. You said yours are 9 and 8, they're the oldest. So you have that 5 year, saying experience over me as far as parenting. So you can probably relate as far as them being a toddler, kind of going through that phase, and them seeing them continue to grow. But just trying to lay that foundation, man, and just trying to get him to understand, like, hey, look, you know, for one, you're a black kid. So being a black kid in America is already challenging. But go out, do the best that you can, go out, be the best you that you can. Obviously, be a leader, don't be a follower. Which when you're at daycare, it's a lot of different things going on. They're picking up different habits and
Come
little
home
things
different
like
every
that.
day.
I'm telling you, man. So having to having to break some of those habits that he learns in regards to maybe what other kids are doing or saying, some of that, and also just get him to understand, hey, look, you don't do this like that. There's that's not okay. Um, you should always be a leader. Don't be a follower. Don't do these things that you just because you see your friends doing it. Different things like that. So it's something that I work on each and every day, um, to get him to understand. And as far as Aiden goes, whenever that time comes, when we start having more of those in-depth conversations, just with him coming into him coming into the teenage years is going to be interesting. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
he's in middle school. This is when typically teenagers, start really starting getting into girls and start smelling themselves a little bit and just different things like that, man. So, um, you know, me and his mom will figure that part out. As far as she's doing a great job. Like, he's a great kid, and turned into a great young man. So we'll work through that together. But yeah, just like you said, just laying it, just each working on it each and every day, man. I work on being a parent each and every day, just thinking about what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I can improve upon overall, and you know, just like every day is a challenge. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's the best thing in the world. So just continuing to work on that. Try to think about what my parents did. Keep what I like, throw out what I didn't, and just apply that each
Hmm.
and every day, man. That's what it's about. So
Definitely gotta do that. It can't be carbon copies.
no, no, no. It's a different time too. So
No, what
our
man?
parents
Look,
grew up in a crazy, crazy era.
man, look. The way, because I'm a middle school teacher, I'm a PE teacher of middle school. The how
Okay.
much this stuff these kids know already. I'm like, bro, I had no idea about any of this stuff. Like,
Right.
from edibles, like people getting suspended for bringing edibles to
What?
school. What?
In
That's
middle
the thing,
school?
bro. They be lit.
Bro.
I see it like, day, bro, you was lit, ain't you? I mean,
Whoa.
they bringing out passes to their friends. I've heard a different middle school. Somebody had to go to the hospital because they took too much. Like,
Oh my goodness.
we had a couple. Like, I've been there for 2 years. I had at least like 3 pregnancies. Like,
No.
bruh, what? Like, it's like that in middle school nowadays, and and you hear the stories that they broke up with him, or he already let her do that. Da 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 da. I was like, bro, y'all are in middle school. Like,
Wow.
it's the stuff you hear and stuff like that, and like, oh, that's my man, and I'm like, bro, y'all are kids.
Right. You don't have a clue.
You
You
don't
don't
have
have a
no clue. Like,
clue.
you don't need to chase after him. He broke up. I'm like, bro, yeah, they all come talk. They like me and stuff. They all come talk to me about it. Like, I don't care nothing about none of that. Y'all should need to be dating. Go about your business. Man, and so I am not looking forward to them years. I'll tell you that, boy.
Man. Listen. Whoa. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's like that
nah.
now, bro. It's like that. They be getting vape
Wow.
pens, like the weed pens and the tobacco joints. They be in there. You go in the bathroom, that junk be gassed. I'm like, boy.
Whoa. But you
Yeah.
know what? Thinking back, like when we were in middle school, I mean, there was kids that probably smoked cigarettes and did things that they weren't supposed
Hmm.
to be doing either. It's just that over time things have progressed. And
Hmm.
yeah, so
And
I
it's easier
can't,
to
yeah.
get it for them too. And like they
Right.
see people on TikTok and all that stuff doing it. So it's like, oh, I need to do that. Like, if we was exposed to that early, we might have tried it too.
Yeah,
But since
true.
I wasn't, I ain't think nothing about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just wanted to play basketball. I heard it didn't help you play basketball, so I wasn't gonna do it. That
That's
was
it.
it for me.
That's it.
So I just uplift and encourage you, bro, as you go through these teenage years, man, and pray for strength to get through, man. So I
I
know these kids are
appreciate
about to
it.
go to puberty for me, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I got girls
Oh
too, boy. I got girls. So I'm so glad that
man.
I'm married now, so I ain't got to do all that stuff by myself. Because I'm be calling somebody like, hey, what that supposed to do? What I gotta get? I ain't ready for
Man.
that.
That's gonna be an interesting time, man. Interesting time. And the crazy thing is that before I had kids, I was like, man, I think I want a daughter first. But then once I had a son, I was like, okay, I think that was probably the right way, just because I mean I had no control over that, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah.
just I think I'm happy I got a son first. I still, if the time comes and I, end up having another baby, then I would love to have a girl. But um, yeah, I think having a son, man, is just being able to start off kind of doing the things that me and my dad did. Like I was following him
Hmm.
around playing ball, following him around when he was playing ball. So I just gravitated to the sport, man, and you know, um, just wanted to do what he did, the kind of
Hmm.
kind of thing. So, and my son does similar, obviously with me going to
Yeah, I'll
play,
be
he'll
seeing
come
him.
and yes,
Hmm.
he'll come around and be wanting to play. So, but it's probably dope. Just there's things that I think as being a boy dad, and there's probably some dope advantages of being a girl dad first, So
Hmm.
seeing it from both sides, that's probably cool, man.
Yeah. So what is your biggest to do thing with him? Just like what is your biggest goal? Not biggest goal, but one of your things you're really looking forward to doing with your son.
I think the big thing for me, man, is just doing something like doing like him finding something that he really is passionate about and me being able to be a part of it. I think that's the
Yeah.
big thing. Whatever that is, if that's basketball, cool. If that's soccer, cool. Football, cool. Tennis, I don't care. I grew up playing ball, playing basketball, football, and I ran track. But those things came naturally. Like my dad didn't force it on me. I just loved the game. So, I just kept working on my game, working on my game, working on my game. But if he doesn't gravitate to basketball, he's gravitating towards it now. But if he ends up saying, you know what, Dad, I don't think I want to play ball. Cool. What do you want to do? I think I want to play tennis. All right. Well, let's figure it out. You know. So whatever he's passionate about, whatever I'm going to introduce him to, as many sports as possible, and whatever sticks, that's what we'll go with. So I think just that the kind of that phase, man, him figuring out what he enjoys, what he loves, and hell, if it's not sports, eventually, then hey, whatever he finds, whatever he's passionate about, I'll show that support. I think that's the big thing that, as a dad, I'm looking forward to. I don't know
Mm.
exactly what it's gonna be yet, but whatever it is, I'm gonna be excited for him, and I'm gonna push him to be, the best. Excuse me, to be the best that he can be. That's all I can do.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what if it's not sports? You cool with that
Yeah,
too?
I'm cool with that too. My brothers didn't play. So my youngest brother does not. He played soccer when he was like a kid, and then I don't know if he played baseball. I think, yeah, he played baseball as well, but they didn't really stick. But he is super super smart. So, and he's into just different things in regards to computers and all of that. So, with that being his passion, my dad's just like, you know what? He's a super smart kid. He's in early college. You know, whatever that looks like, they support it. And that's something that I've been thinking about with my son. Like, man, well, what if he really doesn't turn out to be really into sports like that? Then I have to be okay with that and just support him in whatever facet that looks like. So I've always chosen. I started thinking about that stuff already, and he's 4. So
I believe it, bro. I believe it because I really want my kids to play sports, but the probability is not as high. Even though plenty of girls do play sports, not saying that, but the
right,
probability is not as high, especially not to go to levels that I would like to see them go because of where I went. I know the beauty and the passion, the love that comes with it, the experiences that come with it.
hmm,
But if they choose something else, I really, like I said, you look like you said, I really look forward to that. I know my wife will always be playing with me. If it's not sport, you ain't gonna be happy or whatever. Or you gonna like, nah, I'm gonna still as long as they're pursuing something. I don't care what it is. You can't just not be doing nothing though. If you're doing nothing, I'm gonna be upset. If you're pursuing something, you have a goal, you have a mind if it's a business or whatever the case might be, or just wanting to be something more. You want to be a superintendent, you want to be a teacher, the best teacher of the year, whatever the case might be. If that's your goal, then go ahead and get it. That's what I want you. I want to see you go get something. I don't care what it is. So I definitely
absolutely,
agree with you on that. Cause I can't
thousand
do lazy.
percent.
I can't do laziness, man. I can't let you. I can't. That's gonna be killing me. That's gonna be irking me. That just be
I
irking me.
I don't understand it for the life of me. And
Can't.
my parents didn't allow me to do that. They said you're gonna do something. If it's not sports, cool, but you're going to do something. So that's something that I think foundation wise, you know, helped me out a lot throughout my life, and that's something that I'm gonna continue to push for my son. So
Hmm. Going back to that foundation, that's what's important, right?
absolutely,
Laying that foundation. So, and I definitely for me, I having that foundation of a Christ centered mindset, because of the world way it's going now, boy, what they try to take them out
and
of everything. And so, and
and
just having that foundation, even if they do go wild, like I did, if you will, like off the off into something that I was not raised on, they
yeah,
still had that foundation. And that's something I pray for, and something I think about, because it's so easy to veer off. And I wonder, like, even if I lay the foundation, how is it going to be good enough to keep them where they need to be, keep them grounded, if you will.
yeah,
So that's
and
something I definitely think about.
that's a great point. I think that as parents, you know, you can do the best of your ability to raise your kids, to build these, to give them these values, to teach them right from wrong. But it's ultimately up to them, especially once they become adults, to remember that and apply that, and you know, use that going forward. Now, however they steer off once they become adults, that's kind of out of our control, right? Which is scary,
It's
which is a
scary.
scary thing. It's a real scary thing to think about, man. But you know, as long as you know, put your head down every day, you know, set the right examples, lead by example, and you know, do what you need to do as a parent, then you've done your job. Um, you know, I mean, I'm not saying you never stop being a parent. You don't. I mean, that's a lifetime thing. You know, as long as you're alive, you know, then you're going to continue being a parent. But once your kids become adults, then ultimately it's up to them to do the right thing and continue to, you know, live life the right way. So, yes, like I said, that thought process is a very frightening thing to think about. But you know, hopefully it doesn't come down to that, and you know, all of our kids, you know, blossom and turn out to do great things and be great people first and foremost.
Hmm. Yeah, most definitely, bro. Just to even shift gears a little bit. You don't live with your son, right?
So me and his mom do a week on week off schedule. So we get joint cut. Well, I don't want to say joint custody. We get equal time.
Oh, okay. So
So one week
this question
on,
don't really apply like that then.
yeah. So one week on, 1 week off. So you know, it works out. So this is my week off, and then I'll pick him up Monday, and then have him till that following Monday. So it works
So
out.
does he ever did you ever have to go through that phase of him crying for his mom and not wanting to come? Like, did you ever have to go through that phase?
Yeah, but I would have to go through the phase because I'm tougher on him than his mom. So,
Mm,
so you know, just trying to be stern, and you know, and like I said, it has its challenges, right? So, um, I think that being a dad and being stern, you know, whenever something doesn't go his way, he wants his mom, you know, that kind of thing. But for me personally, I don't care. You know, if I tell you, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and I'm holding you accountable to that, then
you
do it.
just being a
You know,
father.
you're just being a father, man. So really just mainly that. I mean, sometimes he'll be with his mom and be like he misses his dad, whatever. I mean, you know, he'll call his mom. He'll say, "Hey, I want to call my mom. I'll FaceTime. Hey, he wants to talk," and you know all of that. So as far as co-parenting, man, we do a great job of just making sure um, we let him talk to each parent as much as they want, and all of that. So if he misses me, he'll call me, which he does quite a bit throughout the week. And if he misses his mom, he'll call her. So you know, it works out.
Okay. That just me feeling good whenever you call you. I miss you. Like, I miss you too.
Yeah.
that just me feeling so good. It make you feel so loved, man. Ain't nothing like the kids' love, man.
Nothing like it, man. And my son's affectionate too. So, um, you know, he has two affectionate parents, so I didn't know if that would trickle down to him or not, but it has. So, you know, he likes to tell you that he loves you and give you big hugs and all that type of stuff, man. So it's cool. It's really,
So
really
you,
cool.
so you said you were affectionate parents. So did you receive that affection growing up? Was that something that you changed for your own kid because that's what you wanted?
So my mom was affectionate. My dad was sometimes. Um, it just kind of depended on the moment. But my mom was really affectionate. So I got that nurturing and care from my mom. I got the love from my dad as well, but my dad just wasn't as affectionate. But he does. I think him. But I was the oldest too, so I'm the
Oh
oldest.
yeah.
So that's a little different. But I think with my younger brothers, and now that he's a grandfather, you can start to see more of that affection come out and things like that. So over the years, he's got more affection, and so it's cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. They totally different with their grandkids. Like, man, what was
Man,
this when what was this when I was a
I'm
kid?
telling you, man, I'm sitting here looking at him like he got him completely soft. I don't know who this guy
You
is.
ain't fussing. You ain't. I ain't seen no belt come out not one time.
What? Listen, Dave said, wear us out, man, as kids. But
What?
nah,
What? Hurting.
I'm
My
telling
dad
you.
said, "I'm gonna put you on a hot plate. You can't. You gonna need that to sit on." Like, dang, he'll tear it up,
Absolutely.
boy.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, just watching, seriously, man, watching your parents like become grandparents is a sight to see, man. It really is. Like my dad and my mom. Well, don't get me wrong, my parents still gangster. Like they still, hey, when that voice comes out, like, hey, what I say,
Yeah,
he'll tighten up, but they're still, but for the most part, they're really, really, soft in regards to, when it comes to their grandson. So it's dope to see.
oh yeah, it is like, and you start to come closer to your parents too.
Yeah,
Even as you
absolutely.
get older, but especially when you have a kid, you start to relate to them even on another level. I think when you get to like that 21 age, you get a little older, you like getting bills and stuff like whatever age you got those bills, you starting to relate to them on that level. You see what I'm to talk about now. They help you with life, and now when you have a kid, you relate to them on even a deeper level. And now you kind of see some of the things that you used to do in them. And they would tell, I used to do that too, or da da da. That's what you get back for doing that to us. So I think I
Exactly.
think I think it is dope just to see that evolution. We took a picture one time with like four different generations: my grandma, my dad, and me and my kid. So it was just like that. It's just cool to see that too, how that lineage just continues to pass on.
Absolutely. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't even think about doing that until my dad was like, "Oh, that's a really good idea." Because it's just to have that generation, man, say that we all here and that we know each other, and is what's left behind. It's all about legacy, bro. And that's one thing I want to do with this podcast: is leave a legacy, leave a legacy for my kids, leave a legacy for men. Just everybody had a chance to come up here and leave it. I always used to always say, man, this is for the archives. Something that could be archived that you can always go back 20 years, 30 years later, and your kid can listen like, dang, you was over there talking about me like you love me. You show, just expressing, even as a young 30s as we are, and just our kids, man. It's for the archives. It's forever. They can't take this away from us.
Facts. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that's I think that's just a beautiful thing about it, and just a beautiful thing about parenthood in general. Just those experiences, those memories. They make us better. Like, have you ever seen it? Like any change in you? Because for me, I got more emotional and more in tune with my emotions because I had daughters, and I'm still growing in that. So have you ever seen, or have you seen so far, a change in you and some behavior or something that that kid made you for the better once you had them?
Yeah. The big thing for me was my temper.
Mm.
Growing up, I had a pretty quick temper. But when I became a dad, it made me really start to kind of process and think about things in a different light. So when I would feel myself like starting to get mad, I would really sit there and think about, okay, well, what can be the consequences of that? Is it worth it? Would it put myself in a bad situation to where I can't be around for my son? And like just those impulse decisions can lead to lifelong consequences. Or so I just don't want to be in a situation where I do something crazy because I'm upset in that moment. You know what I mean? And miss out on time with my son. So I always think about that. always think about that no matter what. Not that I'm out here getting in trouble. I don't get in trouble, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm not quick to get as mad as I used to. I really think about life and and kind of go about that process that way, and understanding that my son means the world to me, and I'm not gonna miss out on any time with him.
Nah, that's real talk. The kids will make you make better decisions. That's a fact. Like,
Absolutely,
yeah, everything you do is like, oh, okay, I don't wanna mess it up with my kids, so I'm good. Even when dealing with the co-parent. So
absolutely, absolutely, and that process. Well, obviously, you know how that process can be as far as
mhm.
the co-parenting. You know, just trying to make sure that you're on the same accord for your kid. I mean, that stuff matters, man, because ultimately, if you can't get on the same page, then it's gonna affect your kid, and you may not realize it in the moment, but just over time, that stuff can really start to show. So, being on the same accord of how you're gonna raise them, from a discipline standpoint, or just overall, that stuff matters.
Was it easy for you to get on the same accord with that? Because sometimes I know it can be difficult to raise them up the same from different households.
Uh, yes and no. I mean, it can be, it can be challenging. You just have to continue to have that communication and just try to be on the same page as much as possible. There's certain things that he may do with me. Like I may have a different kind of routine than his mom, but at the end of the day, I think we do a good enough job for the most part to try to stay on the same accord.
That's
But it's
good, man. That's
challenging. It's
solid.
challenging.
Oh yeah, nah, shoot. I mean, we men and they women. That's challenging enough right there. We think different. we are
Absolutely.
different. So it takes us coming together to make it whole. So and when you do it separately, it's just going to be different. But it's not
Exactly.
necessarily worse or better. It's just different, and that's okay. I think that's one thing that we struggle with. Just as well, I don't know. I do. I don't know about all men, but we struggle with looking at a woman like, dang, bro, why you do it like that? That would make no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
So,
hey, you live and you learn, man. So
but
just try to do the best that you can, and you know try to be the best parents you can for your kid. That's all you can do.
oh yeah, that's a fact, my man. That's a fact. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you hopping on the podcast, man. This is episode 102. Episode 102, man. It's my man DJ. Hope to see you on the court on Friday. Give you another bucket, bro.
Oh man, here you go. Here you go. Now I gotta play my Draymond Green role inside you sometimes.
Maybe be on my team, bro. Maybe be on my team. Never know. I ain't played with you in a minute.
I know, man. I know. It seems like every time. I probably get there after you. I get there after you now, so that's
Yeah.
probably part of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. If we could ever get on the same team again, I think that speaks for itself. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, then, bro. Hey, man, stay blessed.